everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I am going to share 3 simple tactics that led me to close my very first international client as a freelance writer back in 2020. And mind you, these tactics, they very much work in the present times as well. So without wasting any further time, let's get into the very first point, which is using LinkedIn and reaching out to my prospects on that platform. So I receive a lot of questions from you guys where you ask me, how can you reach people who would want your writing services? So LinkedIn has a very, very great feature. It's called a search button on LinkedIn. Now, how it works is you go to the search button and then you can filter your search based on your desires. For example, my target was that I wanted to close international clients. I wanted to work with international clients. And I still am very much, 90% of my clientele is still international. So how do I find those clients? So go to the LinkedIn search button, filter your search according to the country and according to the position of that person. For example, let's say you are searching for people in the finance industry and you would want to reach out to a CEO, and obviously you are targeting the international market. So you will enter all these filters and then LinkedIn will filter all those searches according to your desires. And the next part is how I got my first client. So what you will do is you will send a connection request to all of these people. Now, before you send a connection request, make sure that you have an optimized LinkedIn profile. Now, what is an optimized LinkedIn profile? If you want me to create a whole video on that, then do comment below. I will make sure to create a whole video where I'll show you how you can optimize a LinkedIn profile. So, after you have your LinkedIn profile optimized, you will send connection requests to these people. And see, it's a numbers game. If you send connection requests to, say, 100 people, or LinkedIn has a weekly limit of 50 people, I believe. I'm not sure, but I guess it has around 50 people. So once you send it to those 50 people, let's say 20 or 15 of them accept your connection request. The next point is for you to reach out to them in a very friendly, genuine manner. See, everybody is on LinkedIn for business. Nobody is there lurking around, scrolling mindlessly. At least 90% of people are on LinkedIn for business. So when you are sending these connection requests to people and they have accepted it, be genuine. Let them know what you do. Let them know you are open to have a friendly conversation with them. Take things slow. Alright? Don't be in a very desperate way. Don't text them right away and this is what I do and this is what I can do for you and this and that. That comes across in a very salesy and unattractive manner. So when you reach out to your prospects, they will either, continue the conversation or they will put it off, their wish. But this is one very important tactic of the whole plan that got me to my very first client. Alright? But here the difference was, while I was sending a welcome message to all of those prospects, to all of my prospects, one of them replied back. And they told me how they are looking for a writer for their new wellness business. So we got on a phone, and when we were on the call, he shared what are their expectations from the writer and how are they looking forward to building into the team and everything. So, but here's a catch. After our first call, there was a disconnect of 2 weeks. Okay, I did not heard back from them for at least 2 weeks. Because Christmas happened, okay? It was December 2020 and the Christmas holidays were there. So I quoted them $100 for one blog. And obviously, so, my prospect, he went back, he had a conversation with his team and he said, we cannot afford it. We would be able to go ahead. I was like, okay, fine, another rejection to the list, not a big deal. I've been getting rejected for so long that it did not really, it didn't really pull me down, because by now I kind of became used to rejections. So I moved on, started prospecting, started my, like, continued my usual search for clients back then. But then 2 weeks later, this prospect came, he came back to me, he texted me on LinkedIn and he said, okay, let's get on a call again and let's see if we can do it, because I would really like to give you this chance. So when we got back on the call, we discussed it a little more and we negotiated, because they were a startup as well and I was a new writer too. So we ended up at $60 per vlog, and that's how I began it. Okay, that's how I got my first client. So the very first point was reaching out to prospects. And now here are two other things, two simple tactics that I believe played a very crucial role in that prospect. He closed the conversation and posted me and everything. I believe these are the two reasons why he came back to my profile, why he texted me again, and why we ended up working for 1 long year. Before, that prospect, he shifted to a different business altogether. So, the second point, I had a guest post on one of the vendors' websites, and I believe that played a very crucial role. Why do I believe so? Because when we started working together and when that man introduced me to his team, my article that I got on a website that was there published on another website, that was listed as my reference article in the introduction sheet, and also he mentioned it in the introduction call. So second point, if you are looking for if you want to close clients and you do not have any portfolio, if you do not have any past work experience, then having a guest post on a website, it really works wonders. Why? Because it makes you come across as a professional, and also the prospects feel that, okay, she is not just doing this for the sake of doing, and she is into this game for real because she has some of her work posted online, and that adds a lot to your credibility, to your accountability as a writer. Now, the third point. This is again a very underrated feature of LinkedIn. So what I did was, I had this guest post, right, with me. So how could you use this guest post to the best of your benefits? I used LinkedIn's featured section. If you don't know, I will just, put probably a screenshot here. So LinkedIn's featured section is very, very powerful. Why? Because if anyone stumbles upon your LinkedIn profile, if they come across your LinkedIn profile, while everything, your cover page, the cover photo, your profile photo, your headlines, all of those, yes, they play a very important role. But your featured section is where you shine, because you put forward your best work in that section. That is what I did. I had a guest post, and most importantly, it was on a leading wellness website. So it was my trump card. That's what I would like to say. It was my trump card. So I used that featured section to highlight my guest post. And next, well, like I said, I ended up working with this client for 1 whole year. We started in January 2021, and on 17th January 2021, I started working with them, and I worked with them for 1 whole year. I worked with them until February 2022, and then, that client, that business, actually, the business that I wrote for, it doesn't exist anymore, because that client, he shifted his entire project, his entire startup to a different industry, and we are good friends now. I have maintained a very strong professional relationship with the client, and yes, after then I never looked back, and this is how I got my first client. Using, optimizing my LinkedIn profile and reaching out to my prospects, having a guest post on a niche specific website, and using LinkedIn's featured section to highlight my best work. So Go ahead, try these tactics, and let me know if you would want me to share more such client stories with you. And like I said, if you would want me to make another video on the LinkedIn optimization, profile optimization. And other than that, I have a few freebies for you in the description below. Do not forget to check them out. So I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching, and bye.